Okay, you guys, so I want to make another extremely helpful video. I have an individual who reached out to me and specifically said, Brandon, I need your help finding buyers. How do I do it? What do I do? Please help me. And they also prefaced, I'm broke. So I was like, cool, no problem, I got you. You got more time than money. Let me walk you through this step by step, and I'm also going to be sending them this video. So here's the deal, you guys. If you happen to have found an off-market or on-market deal that you think is deeply discounted and is worthy of sending out to investors, key point right there, right? Like, please do not do this strategy if you just have some nonsense at Zillow price. You're wasting everyone's time. Deeply discounted is what investors want, okay? And if you don't know if it's deeply discounted, reach out to someone like me and say, hey, I think I maybe have a deal. Can you please help me understand this, right? So anyways, let's say you know you have a deal, rock solid, screaming deal. So you're either in your area or somewhere else. This individual has something, I believe in Arkansas or something like that, and they're not from there. So I said, okay, cool. Well, here's what you want to do. Since you are doing this with no money, zero money out of pocket, here's what you're going to do. You're going to call all the local title companies that are in that area. For this, in this example, Arkansas. You're going to call them up and say, hey, listen, I am an investor and I need to find people who are actively buying in this area. Can you pretty please, with sugar on top, give me all of the cash transactions that have happened in the last 6 months in this town or in this zip code? Because what you need to do is you need to find the buyers of those transactions, and you need to skip trace them and call them and say, hey, I got a deal for you. So first step, find all of the cash transactions in and around subject property, typically a town, maybe even a zip code, right? Maybe even a neighborhood if it's very specific. So then what you do, once you have that list, it'll be very boring. It's a spreadsheet. It's got all kinds of stuff that doesn't pertain to you. What you do is you'll probably have a list of a few hundred, right, in the last 6 months. And if you don't have enough buyers, go in the last year, right? But last 6 months means they're actively buying. So you go through all the buyers. 90% of them will probably be in an LLC. Most investors buy and hold title in an LLC. Not a problem. You go to a company or a website called, it's either OpenCorps or opencorporate.com. But anyways, it's a free website where you can put in an LLC and they will help you find the owners of that LLC, okay? There's some states that don't disclose that, such as Wyoming and Delaware. So if you're in that situation, you might be in a little trouble, but that person is actively trying to hide their business. So they're probably not, there may not be your buyer, and it's really, really hard to find them. So just leave them alone. Same with like trusts, right? Again, kind of a hassle. They're trying to hide, from people. So maybe just leave them alone. But you got all these LLCs, go to OpenCorps or opencorporates.com. You put it in there. Be careful. There's two different people. There is the owner of the LLC and there's a registered agent. A registered agent is just the person who receives legal documents on behalf of that LLC. Does not necessarily mean they're the owner. So you need to find the actual owner. Once you do that, you can go to a couple different free skip tracing websites, such as I think it's freecyberbackgroundcheck.com, fastpeoplesearch.com, or something like that. There's other websites where you can skip trace people for free. Those are two of them that I know, with a 50 to 70% accuracy. So once you get the LLC, put it in OpenCorps, or if you have a name, right? If the person bought it in their name, just go straight to fastpeoplesearch.com. It'll give you a list of phone numbers associated with that individual. You pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. Jones, I saw that you just bought property XYZ over here about 3 months ago. I have a super sweet deal that lines up really well with your buy box. Would you be interested in hearing more about it? And you just pick up the phone and call them. Yes, will you be calling from a different phone, like in my example, a Portland number, a 503, and you're calling into a different zip code, so people think you're a spammer or scammer or something? Yes. So if you want, you can go get a free Google Voice number, if you have a Gmail account, and make sure it's associated with that area that you're marketing in for a higher pickup rate. If not, if you don't want to do that, which is free, you can always just text people and say, hey, my name is Josh. I'm from Portland. I so happen to have a friend who's trying to sell a property in this area. I saw that you are a buyer of this address and this is your company. Would you like to hear more about the property, right? You can call or text people, leave voicemails, whatever. But that is the fastest free way to find buyers, right? Title company will give it to you for free. If they're in an LLC, go to OpenCorps or opencorporate.com. They'll tell you for free. I mean, I think you have to make an account, but it's free. And then you go to Fast People Search, which is free, and they'll give you about 50 to 75% of the chance the correct phone number for that owner. Another thing you can do is if you have all these LLCs, just Google them. A lot of these people will have forward-facing customer websites, like a Google business account, and they'll have their phone number right there, or their website, which has their phone number, or a way to contact them, right? So you can just skip all of that, and you could just Google their ad or their LLC and see if anything pops up, right? You might be able to find some phone numbers that way as well, or an instant message. Or once you find the name of the individual and you know they're in Arkansas and you can't get any phone numbers, but they're a rock solid buyer, you see that they bought 3 different properties in the last 6 months and you just can't find their phone number, go to Facebook, go to Instagram. These are people, right? They must have social media accounts, right? If you can't find their phone number, if you can't find like an address, if you can't find a whatever, try to find them on social media. Again, that's free. Another way to find buyers for free is to list. Let's say you have a property under contract, list it for sale by owner on Craigslist. Very old school, but a lot of people still look at that. Facebook Marketplace in that area, right? You can do these listings for free on a bunch of different websites, right? Facebook Marketplace is one. You can go into all the different groups in that area, right? Real estate investment groups, Arkansas, Home Flippers, Arkansas, Wholesaling, Arkansas, right? Just city name and address, or city name and state name, and you put real estate investment, real estate investor, flipping, wholesaling, and just try combinations of that to find groups of investors in that area who might be able to help you find a buyer, or they might be a buyer themselves, right? So if you're trying to do this for free on a shoestring budget, that is exactly what I would recommend. If you have a deal under contract, which is the hardest part, and then you're like, oh my gosh, Brandon, I'm afraid, I don't know how to find a buyer. This is how you do it for $0 out of your pocket. Please feel free to leave a like, a comment, share this with another investor who's struggling because they don't have a buyer's list yet. Please, if you guys have any other tips, tricks, or strategies, leave them in the comments. If I missed anything, please let me know. Send this to your favorite new wholesaler.